Well, our session is very important, as you have mentioned earlier. Given the theme, Educating a Namibian Child Fit for Agenda 2063 and beyond. So the objectives that we would like to achieve during this session is mainly influencing some of the policies of education that will be able to be in line with the Agenda 2063.
All right. Now, during the orientation, you emphasized quite a bit on respecting the title honorable. What values and behaviors do you expect members to embody during the session in living up to that title?
Well, thank you so much for the question. First of all, the reason why I mentioned that is because you cannot be called something that you actually are called something your character portrays. Right. So honorable is a title that you are given because you portray the characters and the qualities to be called an honorable member. Right. And if you don't have the qualities or portray the criteria, we cannot call you an honorable member. So things such as being a role model to other people in a different way, that's an honorable thing because somebody else is inspired by you, right, and they are honored to be in your presence, for example. So it's very important because honorable is a title that we are given. It's not a thing of you were born with it and you die with it. The people that were before us in Junior National Council and that will come after us, we need to respect the title because it's something that is generationally passed on to other people. So
it's a matter of stepping into that mold.
Yes.
Now onto that, and just extending on that, now as chairperson, what measures do you have in place to ensure that all members of the Junior National Council then participate fully and respectfully in the discussion?
Well, it's a matter of encouragement and constantly reassuring them that you're doing this for somebody else. Someone else in your region relies and depends on you. Someone else's breakthrough academically, professionally, career-wise can actually come from you as you are representing somebody. So it's a matter of knowing why are you here? Why are you in this particular room? Why are you in the Junior National Council? Why are you being called an honorable member? So it's constant reassurance that this is what you are here for. So that serves as motivation to the members that since this is what we are here for, this is what we are going to do. We have to debate. We need to speak for the voiceless because they're not going to be able to speak for themselves.
All right. So don't be afraid to make an impact.
Yes.
All right. So the theme for this year's session is Educating a Namibian Child Fit for Agenda 2063 and beyond. How do you interpret this theme? And what role does the Junior National Council play in achieving that goal?
Well, Agenda 2063 speaks directly to SDG number 4, the Sustainable Development Goal, which is number 4, education, quality education. So when we talk about educating a Namibian child fit for Agenda 2063 and beyond, we look at advancing the current educational system that we are having. Right now, we are doing Cambridge, and we don't have artificial intelligence, nor do we have robotics. So what we are looking at is by 2063, because 2063 SDG goals are not just a Namibian dream. It's just not Namibia on its own. This is like the Africa we want. So obviously, we're expecting all African countries by 2063 to be at the same levels in terms of education and infrastructure, for example. So in terms of education, Junior National Council will serve, as I mentioned earlier, will serve as a body for the youth to be able to speak directly to the policies that are directly speaking to SDG number 4, which is quality education. How are we going to be able to incorporate artificial intelligence, digital technologies? Namibia is going into sectors of the oil, the green hydrogen, and all that. So how do we incorporate all that into our educational system to make it inclusive for the whole Namibian child, and not only for Namibian children, but beneficiary to all the African children in Africa?
All right. So you're taking quite the continental and the international sort of agenda there, but then looking locally, what are the top challenges that you would see are facing young Namibians today, and how do you think this session can address those?
So one of the key things that are constantly mentioned is the educational system that we are currently having. As much as it's good, some other person might have another opinion in terms of the educational system. So we are just trying to get to a point where it's inclusive, to the point where everybody is speaking the same language. Not somebody one person is saying it's good, the other person is saying it's bad. So inclusivity is what we are really looking at, because if we have to bring digital education, digital literacy in education, for example, distributing a tablet, we must be able to distribute the tablet to even that child that is in a rural area where there's no electricity. So it's inclusivity which we are mainly looking at as well.
You're representing the Junior National Council, but how do you envision the work of the Junior National Council then influencing decisions in the senior bodies, the National Council, Parliament level, particularly in terms of youth-related policies?
So as I mentioned earlier, it's to influence the policies that speak directly to the youth. In terms of this theme, we are looking at education. So in terms of it influencing what, for example, the National Council, since we are the junior of the National Council, right, it's in terms of passing resolutions that speak directly to the educational policies, for example, that are not in line with Agenda 2063. So we sharpen it and say that this is what we want. This is what the youth of Namibia needs. So when we pass on such resolutions, the elders in National Council, National Assembly get the idea of, oh, this is what the youth is talking about, this is what they are thinking. Right. So let us try and incorporate it with what we have already, but in the sense of advising them that if this is good, then we can give it a try and we can incorporate it with the policies that we have already. But if it's not, then we can try something better or something else. Yes.
Right. So to better inform their decision making. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, looking ahead, and are there any particular initiatives or programs that you are either particularly proud of, or on the other hand, that you would like to see the Junior National Council champion to further development of young Namibians?
Well, I would say that the 3 sessions that we have had so far were the highlight, because we have addressed key issues that are affecting the youth, and they have passed very important resolutions. But I further would like to see, in terms of us doing groundwork and reaching out to the youth, instead of sitting in the chambers and discussing about policy development or influencing policies, we can rather go to the people themselves and speak directly to them and meet them halfway, and see where we can meet them halfway as Junior National Council, but on the ground instead of doing it from the chambers.
Okay. Finally, Anna, what would you like to see your legacy that you leave behind as chairperson of the Junior National Council? How do you plan to guide the council towards that vision?
A legacy whereby every Namibian child will be included. A legacy whereby every Namibian child, or everybody that will step into Junior National Council, will have a burning heart to represent their youth with boldness, confidence, without being, without any fear that this might happen, that might happen, but to pave a way for every other young person. Because I remember when I became chairperson, I received a message from Honorable Sian Dishishi, the former president of the Namibian Student Organization, NANSO. Right. And she mentioned that occupy spaces unapologetically. And that's the legacy I would like to leave on, to pass on to other people that occupy spaces unapologetically. If you come into Junior National Council, you must rule with an iron fist, held very high.
Stand on your position.